In this series, we've been learning about my friend's musical instrument, the new, which is a chromatic didgeridoo. You might be curious, like I was, about my friend's background as an inventor. What else has he invented? Would you like to know? Listen to part of my interview with Eric, and then I'll ask you some questions to check your understanding. I have to ask, because you don't just say, hey, I'm going to invent an instrument. I mean, there has to be some background to this. Can you tell me, had you ever tried to invent things or reinvent things?
I've made a lot of strange musical instruments in my workshop over the years. I made a slide bagpipe.
Cool.
I had made 3-note didgeridoos and a slide didgeridoo. I had made, what else? A slide saxophone, a pyrophone, which is an instrument that uses fire to create the sound, and all kinds of strange things.
So the short answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay, first question. Does Eric have a strong background as an inventor? The answer is yes. When I asked Eric, had you ever tried to invent or reinvent things? His answer was, I've made a lot of strange musical instruments over the years. Let's write the verb form, I've made. Okay, second question. Before the new, had Eric ever invented any other kind of didgeridoo? Again, the answer is yes. He said, I had made a 3-note didgeridoo and a slide didgeridoo. Let's write that verb form. Okay. I've made, I had made. Which one is the present perfect? This one, right? A present form of have plus the past participle. Do you remember why we use the present perfect? We use the present perfect to refer to the general past, a general past experience, but also events or actions that could occur again in the future. Eric is an inventor. He invented things in the past, and it's likely he'll invent more things in the future. That's why he said, I've made a lot of strange musical instruments. However, he said, I had made a 3-note didgeridoo and a slide didgeridoo. He's referring to specific actions or events that occurred in the past, and we understand that those two other didgeridoos were made before the new. The new was made last year, and before that point in time, 2 other kinds of didgeridoos were made. This is our past perfect, and that's what we're going to talk about now. The past perfect is mainly used to refer to actions or events that took place before a specific period in time. So we're looking at a past point in time and looking at what happened before that point. These 2 events or points in time must be clear to the speaker and the listener. The past perfect is not all that different from the present perfect in terms of form. Instead of using a present form of our helping verb, we use a past form, had. To form the past perfect, we use had for all subjects plus the past participle. For regular verbs, that's an ed ending, try, tried. But because in English we have a lot of irregular verbs, there are irregular past participles, like made, make, made. These forms you just have to learn and remember.
Remember, we mainly use the past perfect to refer to actions or events that took place before a certain past point in time. Be sure you understand the difference between the past perfect and the simple past. The simple past refers to one specific past point or period. The past perfect refers to an earlier past point or period. The second or later point in time must be clear to the listener, either through context or the use of time expressions, such as before 2012, by the age of 30. Consider this example. Before he performed the song, he had practiced it at home many times. Practice is the earlier of the two actions. When you form the past perfect, remember it uses had plus a past participle for all subjects. Here are some more examples. I had met him. You had lived abroad. He had told me. It had changed. You see examples of regular verbs and irregular verbs. Remember to use the helping verb had both in negative forms and in short answers. We use had not or the contraction hadn't plus a past participle, as in, I hadn't known that, or she hadn't finished. In response to the question, had you told anyone your secret? One can respond, yes, I had, or no, I hadn't. Let's do a quick check. Read the two statements to yourself and then tell me which one explains that I sat down because I was done with my work. My work was finished. The answer is number 2. First, I finished my work and then I sat down. So the past perfect refers to the earlier of two actions. In contrast, the first statement means I sat down and then I finished my work. I sat down perhaps in order to finish my work. This is the end of Part 1. Be sure to go on to Part 2 to learn about the past perfect progressive.